Hey there.
Hey, that song takes me all the way back to the 7th grade.
Really?
That's
Okay. That's funny. No, well, I guess, Manny, you decided you wanted to play that song because of the president, and you weren't able to do the song.
Oh, yeah. He's been playing it, huh?
Yeah, he's been playing it a lot. And they've tried to make fun of him on SNL. My hair is a mess, so I apologize. My wife is supposed to cut my hair as soon as the show is over, so she's like, hopefully it'll work out okay. And I'm nervous about that. But I don't go to a barber, so
did she get one of those kits, or how does she do it? Yeah,
one of those kits. So I'm going to be like George P. Bush, and I'm going to be my wife's guinea pig, just like George P. Bush was for his. So,
you know what? I have been threatening to do that, but Dinesh is not a taker. He doesn't want me to do that. He's afraid.
I don't blame him for being afraid. I'm very afraid. Very afraid.
I used to cut my son's hair when he was little, and I won't show you his photos.
Well, my son, my baby boy, we do trim his hair every once in a while, and so he has like a really good head of hair. That little boy does. He's always had good head of hair. Good evening. Good to see you again. Please say hello to your husband. I'm a fan, and I saw him with David A. Harris Jr. So, in a non-essential show. Hi, Claudia. I haven't shared it on my feed, so I apologize. Debbie, what's going on? You wanted us to talk a little bit about some video that you did with La Voz America or something like that. What was the name of that?
So it's called El American, and it is actually going to be hopefully a news network that will be that will compete with Univision, Telemundo, and maybe even Fox News. It's mainly for Latinos who are conservative and bilingual. So it's going to be in both Spanish and in English. And right now, I'm a columnist on their site. Right now it's just a print site, and lots of articles. And I've done a couple, and I even did a Q&A with Pastor Cruz. So it's kind of fun. I get to do a little bit of stuff on my own, and it's fun. But mainly I know that it's needed because I was telling Manny earlier that Univision and Telemundo are extremely left-wing. So it's basically like watching CNN in Spanish. And those people that prefer to listen to the news in Spanish are getting that garbage. They're only getting one side of the aisle. They're not getting both sides of the equation. And so it is needed because, yes, typically Latinos are very liberal, or not liberal in the sense of, socially liberal, but they do vote that way. They vote for Dems mostly. And only about a third of us are conservative and consistently vote for conservative candidates and the Republican Party. So we're wanting to expand that reach. And because, in Texas, Hispanics are going to be the majority very soon, if not already. So we want to make sure that we show conservative Latinos out there that they don't have to be Democrat. That there is another party that offers. That actually doesn't offer you candy. It doesn't dangle the candy in front of you. It empowers you to do your own, to be the architect of your own destiny, basically, not to keep you down. So I think this is going to be really good. It's in phases. So right now we're in phase 1. And it will go to then maybe a few podcasts here and there, phase 2, and then phase 3 will be hopefully the network that they would like to create.
Yeah, but is this something that you're doing just on the side, or is this something you're going to be an investor in, or what exactly?
Yeah, so right now I'm a columnist, but yeah, Dinesh and I are definitely interested in being investors in this venture because we feel like it's needed. It's not there right now, and I think that the market is really hot for it. So we're excited about it.
No, I'm actually excited about it. I wanted to act like I didn't know what you were going to talk about or anything because I like to pretend I don't know what you're talking about. But yes, I saw that You sent me the video. Manny played it. Did you want to play the video now, Manny? The intro to that particular video?
Yeah, we
so
can.
people can know what this is about, because it's going to affect us here in the Valley.
It will, definitely. Yeah.
The whole thing is only like a minute long, just under
Yeah.
a minute. So it's not
So you
bad
want
at
to
all.
play it for everybody so you all can get a taste of what she's talking about? Yeah, this is going to be cool. I think it's going to be great. Oh, you're going to get... Oh, this is a different look, Manny.
Ya otros prefieren hablar en
Oh,
español.
whoa, that's
We
weird.
represent many countries and nationalities.
Well, if it's
Why is
YouTube,
that happening?
Manny, if it's YouTube, it always does that, Manny.
For the first
Sorry.
time, conservative Latinos-
StreamYard acts very glitchy with YouTube for some reason when we play it, because it doesn't want it moves the screen down. And I don't know. I don't think it's StreamYard. I actually think it's just YouTube and Google just being annoying. But we'll find a way to play it again, hopefully.
Being annoying.
It is very annoying.
Yeah.
Maybe what you can do is just zoom in without making it bigger, Manny. That might be a good.
prefer to speak English. Ya otros prefieren hablar en español. We represent many.
Wow, it's still doing that. Okay.
nationalities, and our views are just as diverse. This brings me to El American. For the first time, conservative Latinos in America will be able to have a platform that values the free market, free speech, and an unbiased press. We believe that the only role of government should be limited to secure these rights, protect us from enemies both foreign and at home, and nothing else. We're proud Latinos, but we are even more proud to be Americans. Join our plan to save the Republic.
There you go. Yeah, sorry that came out that. I don't know what. That was weird.
It's okay.
How that's formatted that way.
It's all right.
I think Roman left us for a second.
Yeah, no, but thank you for playing that. Yeah, we're very excited about it, and yeah, it's definitely going to be something that is much needed, because a lot of us feel like there really isn't a place for Latinos to go listen to a news source that isn't left wing, and Fox News, I believe Fox News used to have a Fox Latino, but I'm really not sure what happened to it or why it didn't succeed. But definitely, because this is going to be bilingual. So just because people always assume that just because you're Hispanic, you have to know Spanish, or they start speaking to you in Spanish, and that's not the case. Obviously, there people Latinos all over the country. Some it's English is their only language. I'm bilingual. But I will say this is really funny. When I came to, the United States when I was 10 years old, I did not want to speak English. I only wanted to speak Spanish.
Really?
Then when I started speaking English, I didn't want to speak Spanish anymore.
That's so weird. That is so weird. I didn't know. I did not know that about you, Debbie.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my head down for a couple of things. I'm trying to share it on my feed. I'm listening. And also I have somebody that's begging to find out who do I vote for in certain races. And I tried to tell her, I'm literally on my show at 7:30. Why are you texting me these things right now? But because I want to make sure they vote the right way, I'm going to advise her who to vote for. So it's okay. And so please forgive me.
Yeah.
And I do want to talk a little bit about the election and campaigns and stuff. So if you all have any questions for Debbie, she's well versed on Republican conservative politics, and I want to talk about the polls and all that good stuff. And the first thing is it true that President Trump's coming to Houston in the next few days? Is that true?
I don't know, probably, but they don't tell people ahead of time where he's going. It's very hush hush. They don't announce it. First, for obvious reasons, right? It's security mainly. So if he is coming to Houston, that is news to me.
Yeah.
But it's not a surprise because he's been here before.
Right. Yeah, I thought I heard this morning on Michael Berry's show him talking about coming to Houston or something, but I was paying my property taxes today, so the government was stealing my money. And so I kind of caught half of it, and I thought I heard him say he was coming to Houston, but I do know somebody that is going to Houston in your back neck of the woods is Kamala Harris. She's also coming to McAllen tomorrow, and it's going to be. What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris going to Houston in your neck of the woods? Because you live in the Houston area.
Yeah, well, obviously, the woman doesn't excite me for one, but I have to just mention this because it's on my mind right now. So every once in a while, I'll catch Tucker Carlson on Fox when he's on. And yesterday I happened to watch it because of all of the Hunter Biden stuff, that was being, going on and everything. And this one little segment that he had was on how to pronounce her name, right? because they got on them on Fox News.
I saw that, yeah.
Right? Because they go, it's not Kamala Harris, it's Kamala Harris, Kamala, and so anyway, but then he played this clip of Kamala Harris actually saying Kamala Harris. Oh, that is classic. That was beautiful. Because, oh my gosh, yes.
But how do we? I mean, I didn't know. I was always pronouncing it Kamala, quite frankly.
Well, so was she.
Yeah, apparently. There's a few comments I didn't get to. Manny, there was a comment that you could post a YouTube link, I guess, to the Debbie video we played earlier.
Yeah, I did. I sure did. Okay.
Marsha was saying something, and I after last time she researched you and your husband, your portfolio is quite impressive. Marsha's new, is sort of newish to our show, so it's good. We're good. We love having Marsha comment. She's right now in the Philadelphia area in Pennsylvania. Dallas, Pennsylvania, which is
Pennsylvania. That's right.
Yeah, there you go. And so I'm a little worried about her because of all those riots. Hopefully, she's doing okay. What are your thoughts, Debbie, on some of these riots that are happening right as we're still during early vote in Pennsylvania? And do you think that might play a role to benefit President Trump in his reelection and hopefully win back the state of Pennsylvania as he did in 2016?
Yeah, well, we're pretty well. Especially Dinesh is pretty confident he's going to win Pennsylvania, mainly because they know that Trump promised jobs and he produced, right? And they know what happened during the Obama-Biden administration. So I don't think that you want to shoot yourself in the foot if you know what's happened before you did that, right? So I think that they're probably going to vote for him again. Now the rioting and everything that's out of control. Now I have never seen. This is when they did the looting on that place where they took out a washer or a dryer, right? Is that the same? Are we talking?
Oh, yes.
Or was that Oregon? Because I don't know.
They're all very confusing. No, it was Philadelphia. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, yeah. So I have never seen anyone loot that way, like actually take out a large appliance with a dolly. It's like,
they're prepared.
How emboldened do you have to be to get away with that? I mean, I just, anyone that has any kind of common sense knows that if you are a party that encourages this kind of nonsense, how can you be good for the country? I mean, really? If these people are attacking the very fabric of America, are they crazy? And the answer is yes, they are. So I don't even have an ounce of empathy for these people. They're vile and they need to be stopped. And if Trump needs to, once he gets reelected, if he needs to send out the National Guard to take them all out, I'm for it right now. They need to stop. They need to quit acting like this because this is not a third world country. We don't behave in this manner. And it's hard for me to fathom that this could keep going on. And, it's really important that these governors get a hold of their states because, it's funny because on the one hand, they accuse Trump of being a dictator, right? But then when he tries to say, okay, I'm going to bring in, I want to bring in the National Guard, then they're like, oh, no, we need to take care of our own state. And then he's like, okay, fine, take care of your own state, right? But they're not doing it. They don't want the outside help but they don't want to do it either. And the citizens of that state, this is where I think they may actually, people that didn't vote Republican before may actually do it now based on that, on the fact that, you know, do they have to worry about living in a place, living in a state where the governor has absolutely no control over the thugs that live in that state? You know, if that's the kind of state they want to live in, then they can keep voting that way, right? But I don't really think that that is the way they want to live. I mean, I can't imagine wanting to live that way. And, you know, and if they do, then they deserve it. I hate to be that way. You know, I don't like being blunt like that because I think of myself kind of as a nice person, but I've really had it with these people. I really have. So
Marsha's saying the mayor told the police not to arrest or detain anyone. Guys, I haven't properly introduced Debbie D'Souza. Debbie D'Souza is a friend of ours, a friend of the show, friend of mine. She's originally from Harlingen, a Harlingen Cardinal cheerleader, Harlingen homecoming queen, but she is very much a conservative activist and throughout the country. She's a filmmaker. Trump Card is finally on Amazon Prime. I don't know. Are you allowed to talk about what happened with Trump Card and how difficult it was to get Trump Card, which is a documentary? If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's vitally important. Share it with your family. If they have not voted and they're thinking about voting for Biden, either watch this or don't let them go vote if they're going to vote for Biden. Can you talk about some of the stuff, how difficult it was? Because so many of the people that watched you the last time tried to watch the video and they couldn't watch it for whatever.
I know. Well, what happened was the launch, you know, it was supposed to be launched October 9th.
Right.
And not all of the platforms were live. Like they didn't go live, you know,
Right.
like people couldn't click on them. We don't really know why that happened. But we do know that with Amazon especially, there's two different things going on with Amazon. The first was it was supposed to go live on October 9th, and it didn't go live until just a few days ago.
Right.
A week ago, maybe. And so that was a mystery. It's like, really? Why didn't that happen? So anyway, we don't know. We never got any kind of explanation for that.
Maybe it's like what happened with the document for Tucker, that he mailed it from New York to LA and just didn't magically got disappeared.
And it disappeared. Somebody. So anyway, so we don't know what happened, right? Yeah. But here is the other thing. So this is a different issue altogether. We have physical DVDs that we're selling via Amazon.com, via Walmart.com, and Target.com.
Right.
Walmart and Target.com both were fine. People ordered and they got their order. It was all good. But with Amazon, you place the order and it said, and get this, they have them. It's not like they don't have them. They have them in their warehouse. So basically what happened is on the website, it says that they'll be delivered between November 11th and November 15th, long after the election.
Oh yeah, this is so right? Bezos and I'll take it.
So first of all, that is not the case. That is not what they should be. That's not what it should say, because that's not true, right?
Right.
So I ordered one just to see what the deal was. I ordered it October 6th, and I just got it last week. It had said it was going to be delayed, and then I got it, last week or a few days ago. My weeks are blending in. I don't even remember. But I got it, before the November 11th thing that it said. Yeah. But it's still saying that. So to me, that says don't order it, right? If you go to Amazon and you want to click on the DVD, it says available November 11th through the 15th.
Why order it?
Yeah. So that to me is kind of bad. And I think there is some kind of sabotage going on. I can't prove it, but because I know for a fact that we do have them there at the warehouse, I know that it's not a matter of them not being able to get them.
Yeah, Amazon's just so strange. What happened, Manny?
One of our viewers wants you to see that she ordered from Amazon, and it says your package with Trump Card will be delivered November 3rd.
Lovely.
When did she ask her when she ordered it? When did she order it?
I'm gonna ask her to post a comment here.
It's wrong. It's really wrong. It is another aspect of big tech censoring people, whether it's a New York Post. This is not cool. And I feel we have maybe this is something I've been thinking about. We have three different aspects of how big tech and the big media are trying to suppress the vote for President Trump. You have what's happening with you and conservative media on that's one front. Then you have Twitter and the suppression of the New York Post and nobody talking about Tony Bobulinski or anything like that. They don't want to talk about that. They had no problems talking about the National Guard and what happened with President or Governor Bush at the time, or talking about FDWI in the last month of the election. But this you just can't talk about. They had no problems talking about President Trump and his tax returns, had no problems doing that. Any controversy that happens to a Republican president in October, no big deal. This is the big deal. And the other form of suppression I think is happening is with these polls. I'm not one of these conspiracy people that think the polls are automatically not jilted, maybe sliding a particular candidate. But when you really look at the methodology of some of these polls, and I'm not a pollster, but I'm not stupid, and I do understand how math works and how these things work. It's insane when you have the Washington Post and ABC News a couple of days ago saying, Wisconsin, Biden up 17 points. If he was up 17 points in a public poll, why is Biden going to Wisconsin? It's like the same difference of him going to California, New York, that he's going to win. Why is he going to Wisconsin? Because these polls are trying to get Trump voters, much like Trump voters or undecided trying to order your film. Well, if it's going to happen November 3rd or the middle of November, there's no point. Or if he's up in Wisconsin by 17 points, there's no reason to vote for Biden. And subconsciously, I think, and I firmly think this, you want to vote for the winner. And if you feel that Biden is going to win this election by 17 points, I want to psychologically, I'm a winner. I'm just going to vote for him. Might as well. He's going to win anyway. And I'll look at several of these polls, in particular Texas, because I want to bring it home to Texas as much as possible, because I think it's important. What happens in Texas is going to affect the country in some of these Texas state house races and these congressional races. You have this UT Tyler poll, Debbie. I don't know if you saw that one with the Dallas Morning News. It says Biden, Trump, 47% in that poll. And this is supposed to be a reputable poll. UT Tyler's a decent school when it comes to polling, the Dallas Morning News. But when you look at the tabs, and I've said this on the show before, but I'm saying this to you now so that maybe you and Dinesh can look at this and think, oh, wow, Roman's right. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, Doc. They're saying that 21% of Hispanics are only going to vote for Trump in Texas, which is a lower percentage than Hispanics voted for Trump 4 years ago. Yeah. That's just insane. That's not happening. You only have African Americans voting at 5% for President Trump this time, when I think he got like maybe 8-10% 4 years ago, when he's done so much. It doesn't make any sense. For me, the kicker is gun owners in Texas. Gun owners in Texas are apparently going to vote for Biden by 38%. Give me a break. Yeah, give me a break. So I don't know how you feel about these polls and about that suppression hysteria. I know I talk a little bit more than I probably should have, but I wanted you to get my idea. And what do you think?
Right. No, I agree with what you said. Echo. I don't know why. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's on Roman's end.
Yeah. So anyway, no, that's exactly what you said. Basically, there's something that is, it's bigger than what we even know. I mean, I do think that someone is controlling all of this. I don't want to say Soros, because everybody always says Soros, but it's some big person with a lot of money. Yeah. That basically is in cahoots with the media, with Hollywood, with big tech. All of these people are in cahoots, and they are suppressing anything that is negative, and they are exposing anything that could be viewed as negative for Trump, for example. Because, I don't know if people understand this, but when you have businesses like Trump does, there are a lot of loopholes in the tax system. And just because, supposedly it was $700 of taxes doesn't mean that he didn't already pay millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of taxes.
Right.
On other things, right? So because he gets all these deductions, and when people lose money, they get to deduct that. So let's say that he lost $100 million on a casino, right? He gets to deduct that from his overall, gain or winnings or whatever. So it's very complicated. But the one thing that I thought was even more telling was the fact that they were bragging that Biden had to pay $300,000 worth of taxes. Now, if you think about how ridiculous it is for a public servant to pay $300,000, how much does the man make on a public servant's salary? That to me would be the story. It's like, what are you, Hugo Chavez? I mean, really? So the fact that he had to pay all that money for taxes did not impress me one bit. I became very suspicious. Really? Biden has that kind of money? How does he have that kind of money having been a senator or vice president or whatever he was for the 47 years? You don't make that much money, in Congress. So what exactly? He wasn't an author of a book. He wasn't like, you know what I mean? So he didn't have any businesses. Well, now we know that he has what's called the Biden family crime, the crime family. No, I always say it backwards. The Biden family crime syndicate. Right?
There you go.
There we go. So that's how he has all this money. It's the fact that his brothers and his son basically get all of these deals offshore. Why? Because Biden was the vice president. And so they get all of these perks based on that, right? That is illegal, my friends. You cannot do that. Only if you're a dictator in a third world country, socialist dictator, do you do that kind of thing. In America, you're not supposed to do that. And Hillary Clinton did it through her foundation. She did the same thing. She got rich off of being a public servant, and Biden has gotten rich off of being a public servant. So the fact that, okay, put Trump's tax records or whatever, but explain why Joe Biden had to pay $300,000 worth of taxes. If you know what I mean. So why don't you explain that? Or, as you say, what's come out with Hunter Biden. Now, I think that the son is a complete thug and he's a pedophile and just disgusting. But the story here should not be lost in just that, because he's not the one running for president. And you know that our children do whatever, our children do. It's not always a reflection of the parent. However, in this case, Joe Biden was in on it. He was taking money. He was taking 10% of the makings that they were making offshore in both China and the Ukraine. So that is a huge story and should have been a huge story. That should have been the headline news. Like Vice President Biden, then Vice President Biden, sold his seat to these people, to these foreign governments. That's a national security threat right there.
Right. Absolutely.
So the fact that they are hiding that is, it's mind-boggling. And I always say this, in Venezuela, Hugo Chavez had to squelch the media. He had to attack the media so that they would only report his side.
Right.
Here in America, they are willing participants of the left-wing ideology. They just are. And it's really, really troubling to me that we are not only, this is not a fight between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. This is a fight between good and evil. And it's much bigger than the two men. It's literally dismantling the way that we view and get information in this country, because if big tech is able to censor the way that they do, we may not ever be able to speak our mind again. And George Orwell's 1984 could very well be happening right now.
Yeah. That worries me. I mean, we're a center right kind of a podcast. We kind of walk on pins and needles, trying to figure out whether or not we want to say something that might get us banned, and that's not what it should be. And that's unfortunate that we can't use social media the way they want to. Conservative media, that the whole meme, liberals can't meme or leftists can't meme is the truth. And so because they can't meet, they try to silence us, and it's wrong. Bonnie's a radio station DJ Tejano. So hi, God will destroy evil. God willing.
Yes.
God willing on this one. We are seeing record numbers of voters coming out to vote here in Texas. For some reason, you have the Cook Political Report, who they used to be nonpartisan. Now they're saying, oh, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up now. It's no longer Dean Republican. But when you look at the numbers of people that are coming out to vote, there's still more Republicans voting than Democrats. And you are getting this extra week of early vote that you ordinarily don't get. We're probably going to get to 12 million voters because 4 million people that voted in the last 4 years, the last 4 primaries or last 4 general elections, have not voted yet, and they're still registered to vote. Do you think Texas is in play, number one? And number two, if it is in play, do you blame, like I do, Governor Greg Abbott for adding this extra week of nonsense, this extra week of potential thievery with early voting, as we saw with Project Veritas with their recordings of Politiquera in San Antonio?
Right.
I know that's a different question, but you can combine it.
Yeah. So, well, I don't blame Governor Abbott so much, because and let me tell you why. I think the rationale for that was because they were afraid that we were not going to have a lot of people voting because of Corona, right? They thought, they're not, if we only have the 2 weeks prior, people are going to be, afraid to go because there's going to be too many people at the polls. And so they're just not going to vote. So if we spread it out, it will thin it out, right?
That's not what happened.
But that isn't what happened. Exactly.
And I knew it at the time. It was not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not what's happened. I think anytime you give Democrats any kind of
extra days to steal an election, they'll do it. Yes.
They'll do it, exactly.
Here in the Valley, it's insane. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very afraid of the cheating that will probably go on and happen. I'm very afraid of the mail-in ballots, because as we know, they have done actual experiments to see if the ballot actually gets to its destination. And there was an article recently, I think Fox did this article, where not everything got to its destination. Yeah. So there's that, right? And I'm also very, very afraid of the fact that there are some states that are saying right now that they're going to get 3 extra days to count votes. Mm-hmm. And so that is problematic, because we may not have a president on the evening of the 3rd or the 4th. We may not have
the 6th or the 7th.
Yeah. So I'm very, very afraid of that, because I think the hatred of this man is so great that people are just out of control. They're out of control. They're so afraid of Donald Trump. And so I think that it's just like off the charts as far as hatred. And the really funny thing is, they say we're the haters. I don't think I've seen so much hate in my life on that side. And intolerance. They are extremely intolerant. Extremely.
Yeah.
I can have a conversation with a Democrat any day of the week, but I don't think they want to have a conversation with me. I think that's where, they draw the line. So unfortunately, it used to not be that way. I mean, when I lived in the Valley, I was a Republican. I've been a Republican since I was 14 years old. But it wasn't this like, I hate you because you're a Democrat, or I hate you. It just wasn't that.
It wasn't that at all.
It
I mean,
wasn't.
I have conversations with Democrats. I had a conversation with a very high up Democrat locally, and we had interesting conversations. One of them was, yeah, we're having a whole lot of turnout going out right now, but are we actually going to have voters on election day? And I said, that's an interesting argument, but yeah, we're going to have a few, but not as many, probably. But there's a few questions that came in, and I'd like to give them an opportunity to ask the question. Is Bonnie wants you to run for governor, Bonnie Hernandez, and,
Yeah.
and then, I don't know if you're able to read them while you're talking, but then Doc had a question about losing faith in Fox News or losing confidence. There's a lot of people losing confidence. Oh, sorry. Did you know? I guess Trump is losing confidence in Fox News.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think the problem is that we think in terms. See, the left wing media, which is the mainstream, which is everything else except for Fox, right? Only reports favorable on their side. They never, if they have a panel, if you notice this, like on CNN, they'll have a panel and they'll have like 3 Democrats and 1 Republican or 2 Republicans. But those 2 Republicans happen to hate Trump.
They do.
Right?
Like Amanda Carpenter, who I can't stand.
So,
she worked for Ted Cruz, and she's just a horrible, horrible analyst, in my opinion.
So anyway, so they definitely they don't even go there. They don't even try to be balanced, right? Mm-hmm. So I think what's happened is I think that Fox News has tried really hard to be balanced, hence Mike Wallace, or no, not Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace,
Right.
He's very, very much a Dem. And I think that when they did the debate, they thought, oh, we're going to have a Democrat. Not. We're going to have a Democrat. And he acted like one every bit, right? So I think with Fox, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, no, we're not right wing. We want to show both sides. We want a fair and balanced debate, right? And we as conservatives want very badly to have a place to go where we just vent and we hear our side and our side only. Mm-hmm. I mean, because they have that platform everywhere else, everywhere. Right. That is their platform. Not only do they have news that way, but they have The View. They have, what's the other one? There's The Talk. All of those shows have super left-wing commentators, interviewers or whatever you want to call them, hosts. And so, and they dog us every minute of every day. So people that watch CBS will hear that we're horrible people from the crack of dawn until the 10 o'clock news.
Right.
That's all they hear. So we want a place where we hear that we're not that, right? That we're doing something right. We want a place that we can do that. Right now, I believe we don't have a place like that.
Yeah. Well, there's Newsmax, there's Blaze.
Yeah.
They have OANN, I guess. Which I've never seen. I do like a little bit of Newsmax because there are actually some former Fox reporters there. But I don't really watch the news as I used to when I was younger because I just find it annoying. And that's because I do somewhat of a news thing. I gave it, here and there. When you have Drudge now becoming a leftist person or leftist side, it's like it's horrible and disgusting. Doc is asking a question: who do you get your news from? But before you answer that question, have you and Dinesh thought about doing a husband and wife podcast or something? Because that seems to be where the media is at. Where you have like the Daily Wire, you have Ben Shapiro, you have Ted Cruz having his own podcast. You have podcasts seem to be the thing right now. Have you all thought about doing something like that? And then you answer, who do you like your news from?
Yeah, funny you should ask that. We actually are considering doing a podcast. Dinesh is. I'll appear occasionally, but yes, we are actually talking about that right now. So because for one, I think it's a good way for Dinesh to get his message out more. He has been a little bit more vocal in his social media. Like he'll do little clips. Hey, honey.
Yeah, I've noticed those clips.
Honey, come here.
Is he doing a clip right now? Did I catch him? No, I've seen them, and they're really good. And I'm just like, what? I mean, honestly, y'all really should do like a husband and wife podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really and I'm not kidding.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Yes, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, so they go, have you guys considered doing a husband and wife podcast? And I go, no, but Dinesh, we're thinking of doing a podcast. Dinesh is thinking of doing a podcast, and I might occasionally come on.
No, y'all need to do a husband and wife. I can imagine you being a power couple. So, I'm not saying you're not, you're not awesome your own self, but you all really should think about doing that. I think it would be amazing for the things that y'all could do that way. So I was asking. So when are you going to do your podcast? You need to start doing one quick.
We're figuring it out. Well, we've been so focused on promoting these two movies, The Infidel, which was in the theaters, our feature film, and then that's going to come out in VOD in December. So kind of a Christmas movie, a Christmas political thriller, and then of course Trump card all the way through the election. So we can't think of anything else, but we're just starting the early, just exploring how it might work and a little bit of the technical aspects of it.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it. Yeah, I can't wait. I will watch it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do a podcast, you need to do a visual podcast or something. You can record yourself. I would love to see y'all's faces when you're doing it. Be great.
Yeah. We're thinking of that because I think, there's the audio podcast idea and then their video podcast idea. And, and I think he's a very recognizable face. I mean, people, when we're at the airport or stores or wherever, people always recognize them. And so I think it'd be very cool to have a video. A video podcast.
Although once in a while, I think where were we in the restaurant where this guy comes up and he swore that I had given a keynote address at a medical convention that he had just been to.
I thought he was
He's
a
like,
doctor.
aren't you Dr. Gupta? I'm like, no. The keynote address.
That's quasi-racist by Dinesh. That's
It's like, no, he's not a doctor. Really, he doesn't even play one on TV.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. No, I would love to see y'all do that. I really would.
Well, I mean, it would definitely be fun. I'm gonna be a little bit more out there myself. I mean, especially now that I'm gonna be partnering up with El American and all of that. So, but I do think that it's important for people to see us, to know that that Hispanics, Latinos, whatever you want to call us, are not monolithic, first of all, and that we're not just going to vote one way,
right?
And that we have a lot of different ideas, and and it's not good to demonize you either way,
Right.
So,
and I forget that you're not wearing your glasses today, so you're not able to read all the comments that are coming up. And I just realized that earlier. So I'm sorry. There've been a lot of good comments. This one is from Claudia. Can't stand the view, and since Meghan McCain hates Trump, it sucks more. It's true.
Oh yeah.
How the hate the president can change a person so bad. And now another person is. It's like, guys, I do the video podcasting, guys. My friends think y'all should know this. And this
Did you happen to see the video? Ben Shapiro played the clip. Or is it a new ad? It's not a Joe Biden. It's a what's that group that put out that ad? Roman, do you remember?
A project, the Lincoln Project.
The Lincoln Project.
Oh
no,
and the mom comes to the little boy. He wants to know what happened election night, and he said, "Who won?" She says, "Trump. Trump won." And he says, "But I thought you can only win twice." And she says, "Not anymore."
Which is so crazy. These never Trumpers are just, not only are they bad, they're grifters, and they just want to destroy our country, I guess, because they didn't get their way. And it's insane. And I don't understand how somebody who wants to be a principled conservative wants to now vote for a Principled Democrat, principled liberal. Sorry, Doc is asking, as a conservative activist for the silent majority, what should Republicans focus on domestic and foreign affairs after November 3rd? What should Republicans focus on domestic and foreign affairs?
I mean, yeah. So if we win, and if we win the House, if we get it back, and we keep the Senate, and we get the presidency, I think we should definitely do a really good tax plan. I think we should really fix the mess that is Obamacare. I think we should fix it from the ground up. Because see, the point of having a good health care is not ruining mine. Okay.
Yes, agreed.
It's like, okay, guys, don't you know that you ruined 80% of healthcare across the country? I mean, you really did. In Texas, for example, we had a really good PPO, but you can no longer have a PPO as a person, as you know, as an individual. You have to now all they sell is HMOs, right? So again, that was part of the whole Obamacare thing. So they ruined. Oh, and the premiums skyrocketed. I mean, they were super expensive, right? And I will tell you, this is a little secret that I'm gonna kind of, you know, I don't think it's a secret, but anyway, if your house burns down, right, and you want house insurance after the fact, I think they're going to charge you a lot of money to get that because number one, your house is already gone. The fire took it, right? So that's what pre-existing conditions do, right? So because of that, the premiums went way up because they have to. We have to cover everybody who's already had issues, right? And as you know, in America, we have a lot of very unhealthy people, whether it's that we eat, you know, too many French fries. I don't really know, but you know, we're not health conscious and we need to be. And
well, couple things. One, there's sort of breaking news out of Corpus Christi right now.
Oh,
I just got sort of breaking news. There was the Biden bus tour crashed today. I'm getting this right now from a friend in Corpus. By the Trump parade in Corpus, they were run off by all the Trump supporters, according to my source. I don't know how true this is, but Brandon, if you're watching, please tell me this is for real. If you're watching this show, but yeah, that's apparently the Biden bus tour crashed, and Biden, I believe Brandon. So that's amazing. So
wait, are they saying that the Trump people made it crash?
I don't know. 10 Biden cars,
like. That's what it sounded like.
400 cars. I don't get it.
And who was on the Biden?
I have no idea. I'm trying to get it. In fact, I wouldn't. Manny, can you give the link to Brandon? Because I'm genuinely curious about this. Because I don't know if he's being for real or what. So can you just?
I have not seen it. Hasn't popped up on my news feed, so I don't
know. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking for it online. I don't see anything.
Second, guys, because I'm gonna call him to make sure this is for real. Because I don't think he's kidding, but this just sounds really freaky. So give me a second, Manny, Debbie. I'm gonna mute you all. Mute myself.
There, Marcia says our healthcare costs almost doubled. Her back surgery cost her $11,000 out of pocket.
Yes, it is. It's gone up. I mean, it's gone up, and it's going to go way up. You know, with Biden's healthcare plan, his Biden care.
Right.
You cannot do what he says. You can't have a normal healthcare plan and then have a public option, because the money has to come from somewhere. And you know, I hate to break it to them, but money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
And so no, it will be, our healthcare system will be destroyed, and it is a Trojan horse for a national health plan, a public.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely, it is.
So it's horrific. So let me get back to the other question about, you know, what to do. So we need to fix that. We need to make sure that our tax benefits go up, that people pay lower taxes. That would be amazing. Because why? Because the more money in our pocket, the more we have to spend. And that's how the world goes round, the capitalism. So we want to do that. We also want to make sure that we're self-sufficient. Energy, which we are energy independent, we want to make sure that we stay that way. And we also want to make sure that we are not giving one penny to enemies of the state. That means we don't want to give money to the Shiites or the Sunnis that hate us. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the money, that the tax dollar does not go to these people if they're going to hate us. And so we need to keep it here. It would be really nice to do our infrastructure, because I do think that roads and bridges need to be fixed. So that's great. I think it could be done, and that could also have a really great effect on jobs. And I really think that we should try to stay away from domestic wars. Foreign wars, as much as possible. Now, I am going to say this. Venezuela, as you know, is very near and dear to my heart, because I was born there and I have family there. I even wear my little Venezuela necklace. It's here. Wait, hold on. Let me show it to you. It's my little Venezuela with my cross, because I'm always praying for Venezuela right here. So basically, I would love for Donald Trump to do something about that dictator.
Yeah.
That does not mean that I want troops to go down there and take him out. That's not what that means. I want him to be able to, with other countries in South America, be able to form a coalition where they can form some kind of a military intervention where they get him out and then they get out quickly. Not a occupy just like we did in Iraq. None of that. First of all, Venezuelan people are Christians. They're culturally the same as we are, most of them, and they're very proud people. They don't want anybody to occupy them. Right now, you know who's there? Iran, Russia, China, and Cuba, and we want these people out. And right now, Iran, Venezuela has a lot of gold. It also has a lot of uranium, beautiful minerals, right? The uranium is used, the enriched uranium is used to make missiles. And that is the reason that Iran wants to be in Venezuela. They want to make missiles, and they want to make missiles short range so they can get to us, because it's only 1,300 miles away from Miami, Caracas, which is the capital. That is all they need for a short range to come in and wreak havoc, right? So if we allow Venezuela to remain with this horrible dictator, we're not talking the Middle East. We're not talking 9,000 miles. We're talking 1,000 to 1,300 miles away.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. And if we allow Nicolás Maduro to stay where he is going to make it his mission to allow Iran to make nuclear weapons. And I mark my words, they will do it. And we cannot allow them to do it. So we have to stop them. This is why I'm not just being a little selfish because I want to help my family who's starving. That's another reason. But I also fear for our country. It's a national security threat to have Iran in Venezuela. Right now, they have over 200 Hezbollah training camps there. And it's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. I can't tell you how dangerous. So I'm sounding the alarm, ding, 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 again, because I believe that that is a very, very important country to save because of that. Not to mention the fact that Venezuela is, it could also be a great ally for us. Once it is saved from this dictatorship, this tyrannical dictatorship that it's under, that, by the way, started as democratic socialism, just in case anyone forgot. And so, again, that to me would be something that if I had to advise Donald Trump, the president, if he wins the election, those are the places I would go. That's what I would tell him to do.
And I know that we only have you till 8:30 and you're 8:29, but apparently Brandon clarified in my phone conversation that the crash by mean that the Trump train crashed and there were more of them, not that there was a literal crash. So I'm like a little upset at Brandon for like sending me a text message that said there was a bus crash when it wasn't necessarily.
He says Biden bus tour ran out of Corpus Christi by the Trump train.
But even then, it's not exactly what happened. It was that there were hundreds and hundreds of more Trump supporters than the Biden Trump.
Isn't that?
I apologize for making a mistake like that, but Brandon over here made us give bad, horrible.
Yeah, Brandon.
But still, it's still breaking news because.
Hola, Judy. Yo también estoy escuchando a Debbie. Oh,
okay, cool.
So my mom, my mom, okay, who's from the Valle,
yes,
is listening, and so is my aunt, who is from Venezuela.
Oh, how cool!
Cool. Venezuela.
Hello, ¿cómo están? So I don't want to keep you past 8:30 because I know you have to go at 8:30. But at least it was a sort of crash, but not the physical crash. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. But that's fantastic news that there's more Trump supporters in Corpus. Hello.
Well, I mean, it's a purple count.
I mean, this is great. No, I mean, the fact that I have seen, your guys's, like in the Valley, the Trump trains that go from McAllen to Brownsville. I mean, that's amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
In Miami, same thing. I mean, oh my God, everywhere, boats. Do you see any of this with Biden? I mean, I just, I don't know. The one thing I want to say before I leave, and you were talking about the polls and about people, being called and that kind of thing. I don't think people are being honest on the phone because I don't think people want other people calling them when they don't know them from Adam to know that they're Trump supporters. Why? Because I think they're afraid that if they say they are, these people are going to come and do something to them or their house. That's just my opinion.
Right.
So that's why I don't really think that the polls are accurate. But Dinesh and I do have a bet, and he thinks Trump. Well, he thinks Trump will win, and I'm not so sure. And the I'm not so sure part doesn't come because I don't believe that Trump has a lot of people out there for him. The I'm not so sure comes with the fact that I know that we have not just the Democratic Party against us, but every large megaphone in our culture. And so I fear, and I also fear for fraud in election. So I fear that people are not getting the truth.
Right.
And that because they're not getting the truth, they may either not go vote or may vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah, the winning thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I fear that. And but we'll see. We bet $1,000. So
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you know what? If I have to give him $1,000, it'll be the best $1,000 I have spent.
Well, my bet is with some friends that I'm unfortunately on your side because I think a couple days ago was the first time I thought maybe Trump could pull it off, maybe. But then you have the very next morning that obnoxious poll of suppression, which I don't believe, I don't buy, it doesn't make any sense. And it just makes me feel that everything is against President Trump winning this time. And there's a reason why Biden is being hidden, and that worries me. But I can say, for those of us in Cameron County, the Biden campaign, I was told this yesterday by a bigwig Democrat who said, bro, just letting you know, the Biden campaign is very upset at Cameron County Democrats because they are taking pictures with Biden flags and Biden shirts, but they're not wearing the face mask, and it makes them
makes them look bad.
Yes. And so they've allegedly, according to this Democrat source, I'm not going to say who it is, no names, because I don't think they want anybody to know that they talked to me. But they've already said no more biting pictures on Cameron County. And I'm like, yeah, right. That's probably just a way for them to say it, because they know there's not a lot of them. They know there's not a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, when I went to Harlingen, when my mom was ill a few weeks ago, and I was in Harlingen, I saw a lot more Trump signs than I did Biden signs. And I saw trucks with the Trump flags and stuff like everywhere. I didn't see that. So are you getting the feeling that in the Valley, Trump has a good chance to win?
No, I do not believe that Trump will win. But what I have looked at, and if you looked at the turnout that's come in, and we talked about this on the show, but I think it's important, and I'll bring it up again because we've been really talking about it more in the night show that we just, for fun. Hidalgo County, just an early vote in person, barely surpassed the 2016 numbers on Monday. That's an extra 2 days of early voting, barely surpassed their 2016 numbers. But you have people like Terry Canales, who's a state representative out of Edinburgh, who say, no, we actually pass it on Saturday because you can add in the mail-in ballot. I'm like, yeah, the mail-in ballot is doubled. 4 years ago, you had, I think, 7,000 mail-in ballots in Hidalgo County. Now you're looking at 14,000 mail-in ballots, if not more, last time I checked. And in Cameron County, we took the exact same amount of days to equal or barely surpass the 2016 numbers. But when you look at the turnout of who's actually coming out, new as of Wednesday, as of yesterday, only about 15% or 14.5% of the voters that voted early or mail-in ballot were brand new voters.
Wow.
And so that's not a huge significant. It's on par with what normally happens and you're still not getting to 93,000. I still think we're going to get to about 203,000 votes, maybe.
Okay.
On election day. We don't have numbers today yet. We normally do by now, but they've extended to 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Same thing in down. But do I think there's enthusiasm? No, I don't. There, like I said earlier, there was a Democrat who's told me, are there anybody going to be voting on election day because they're going to be voting earlier mail-in ballot? I don't know.
We'll see, right?
I'll find out. But what are y'all doing for election? I'll let you go, but I want to ask where you're going to be at for election night.
Election night, we're going to be here at home.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Be very safe. And I wanted to ask you about Dinesha's experience voting for Trump.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
You didn't get a chance to vote, but I don't know if you can stay. If not, we'll let you go because I know you said.
Well, I do have to go, but I will say he did vote for Trump. We voted last week, both of us, and it was awesome because it was the first time you got to vote for President Trump after the pardon. So it was great.
That's what I thought was really cool. I wanted to see how was it. Did you vote curbside and everything? But we didn't get a chance to. But then, in a couple of weeks.
We went in.
Oh gosh.
I was
my God.
Out, but yeah, we did it. I had my wipes and I wiped everything down.
You did? Did you wipe did you bring your own pen or did they give you a brand new pen?
I brought my own pen.
Okay.
And my wipes, my alcohol wipes and my Purell. And I wiped down everything, all the little dial and everything, the screen, everything clean.
And you used a new pen in order to sign your name that you had to sign. See, if you would have voted curbside, you could have just told them to do everything. And that's what I did. I told them, you come here. My friend Claudia, who's actually on the show, she was voting in person. She was willing to get off. And so she saw that my ballot actually went into the ballot box. She was inside, but the guy filled it out for me. I didn't even sign my own name because I said I don't want to touch it, and they said don't worry about it. We can sign it for you.
Well, then carry your own pen with you.
I don't want because I would, but then I'm going to have to give it to them. I barely wanted to give them my ID.
No, you keep it and you go. It's my pen, and that's it.
No, I don't.
I take my pen with me everywhere I go, and I just do my own pen.
The paper was going to come onto me, and
Lynn, thank you so much, and your husband. You're such an important part of the conservative movement. And thank you. Yeah. God bless you.
Cool. Well, I'll let you go. Enjoy your evening. We're going to stay on a little bit longer, me and Manny, because we want to talk about a couple of things that happened in the federal courthouse today. Breaking news on that stuff. So God bless you, Debbie. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, we can have you on again.
Thank you, Debbie.
I love that. Thanks.
God bless. Bye, Debbie.
Bye.
Thanks for Debbie D'Souza for coming on our show. Thanks for you all sticking around and watching us. We want to talk a little bit about the federal courthouse because Manny was supposed to be there today and he didn't go. And we're not doing a night show tonight, just so you all know. No late show. For real. I need to get a haircut and I don't want to be on TV yet. So why are you big and I'm small, Manny? Why are you big and I'm small?
Oh, man, no reason.
Like, it's not fair. I don't mind. Guys,
thank you for all the compliments, guys. We really, really appreciate it. We're glad you enjoy it.
It's awesome. It's awesome always having Debbie. It's awesome always having Dinesh pop in because it's cool. Boo, I know it's just us. I know. Is what it is.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. We can't do 4 a.m.s every single night.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I can't do it. And I'm hoping that Manny will actually not have late, so he can wake up in the freaking morning and go to the courthouse. Because
I got plans tomorrow morning, arrangements made. Going to Erasmo's office. I'm going to leave my stuff there. He's going to drop me off at the courthouse.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a plan for tomorrow morning.
That's good. That's good. Because you need to get there early because apparently some people, there was an actual other courtroom that was used for people just to hear. There were so many people wanting to go. He is a bad reporter. But apparently some of the things that happened today in the courtroom were really, really cool. KRGV, I think, already has. Please don't say it. I know it is.
Yeah.
I know it is. I know.
For real. For real.
For real. I don't even want to. We're not even going to talk about her at all, okay? Because this is a real legit show. So let's go ahead and if you can pull up KRGV.
Where am I going? KRV?
Yeah.
No.
KRGV.com. And then I don't know if the Herald already has a story up. We're just going to go over it at least until 9 o'clock. And then I do recommend going over to the Erasmo show at 9 so that you can see their coverage because they're going to have that some people that actually were in the courtroom, unlike Manny. And so, yay. So, but there are some things that happened today. One is the FBI undercover agent testified today. And in that testimony, it was vitally important. You saw that Rodrigo Moreno was essentially thrown under the bus while sitting while scarfing his face down, I'm assuming, because, well, he likes to eat. He's a big boy. And
this
so
yesterday.
That's yesterday. Well, we can watch this. I don't think we saw this one yesterday.
Hang on, let's see.
Let's see this one. Let's see. This is from yesterday. So let's watch this together, guys.
Back in court tomorrow. Today we heard from some of her fellow board members. Here's Channel 5's Rudy Medelis.
After dismissing Rodrigo Moreno for the time being, BISD trustees past and present made up the majority of today's witnesses for the prosecution. Former board president Cesar Lopez and current trustees Laura Perez Reyes and Phil Cowan taking the stand. The day ended with Cowan explaining the mechanics behind a board agenda for the jury, specifically what would call for the use of a conflict of interest document required by the Texas Ethics Commission, pointing to Atkinson's alleged acceptance of a $10,000 bribe in exchange for placing an item on the board's agenda in 2019, charges she denies. When the item came up for a vote, it passed 7-0, Cowan making the motion for its approval. But as Reyes testified, the item on the consent agenda didn't sit right. When she confronted Interim Superintendent Dr. Sylvia Hatton on the item, she says she left with the impression Atkinson had strong-armed Hatton to putting it on the agenda. Cowan said had he known about the allegations, not only would he have voted no, he would have gone to BISD police following the meeting to report the issue. During the trial, we also learned Perez Reyes was involved in a separate federal investigation. The FBI's target, 404th District Judge Elia Lopez. Now, we reached out to Lopez earlier this evening for comment, and we're still awaiting a response. In Brownsville, Rudy Medelis, Channel 5 News at 10.
There's a few things that are in that report, and those of you that have been watching this late at night, Sylvia Atkinson is currently a board member of the BISD. At the time, she was the vice president of the board, which is opposite of what the Gary Long claimed in the Brownsville Herald. She was a vice president, and she allegedly accepted $10,000 bribe in order to put essentially what she did not know was a fake movie project. She thought it was a real movie project on an agenda, and was met by her former campaign manager and I guess co-executive producer on a movie called The Hole. that Rodrigo Moreno had directed and written. And they put it on the agenda. But a couple of things that are interesting about that KRGV story, and while I'm talking about this, Manny, you can look at the Herald to see if they have a new story, or there's a newer story from KRGV for this afternoon from the 5 o'clock show.
KRGV does not have anything else on this, only that.
Really? That's strange. I would have assumed that they would have done something, because usually by now they have a story out from the 5 o'clock or the 6 o'clock show. It's strange. Well, and what was interesting about that particular news item is that it mentions Philip Cowan. You see, I'm getting feedback, and so I can hear myself. I think it's your volume, or is it my volume?
I think it's yours.
I don't think so.
I got mine low already.
Okay, and what ended up happening is there was audio recording that was recorded by Rodrigo Moreno, the FBI informant / cooperating individual, cooperating witness, and the FBI undercover agent. And in that recording that was played earlier in the week, allegedly, because I wasn't there, I didn't hear it for myself, but the jury heard Sylvia Atkinson say that she gave $2,000 to Philip Cowan. The same Philip Cowan that was on the witness stand yesterday. And what I find fascinating about that is that he claims in the witness stand that had he known that there was some sort of bribe that took place, what's the name of Erasmo's show? You just look up Erasmo Castro candidate or BISD, or Erasmo Castro for BISD. Either one of those, like those pages, and you'll see that show at 9 o'clock. And my husband said he respects your platform. He's not one to praise, so that's big. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you.
So, hey guys. Hey, Stormy. I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? Had the morning light, not you know who. Yes. Let's not go there, Ray. So anyway, so going back to, so Philip Cowan says on the witness stand, had he known that there was a bribe or something, he would have gone to the police department about it. So was he bribed by Sylvia Atkinson? Did he know anything about it? Because I wasn't there, so I don't know if that question was asked. But based on what Tim Ramirez and Carlos Elizondo said last night in their show with Erasmo Castro's show, they never asked the question. That did not come up. And so that's kind of strange that nobody was asking. And I will say this. If the question never came up and I am a juror, I'm wondering why that question didn't come up, whether or not he accepted a bribe or not. And that's strange to me. That's just me. And if I'm a juror, I'm wondering why that happened. So is Philip Cowan a cooperating individual in some way? I don't know. But I do find it fascinating that he also wants to talk about a conflict of interest kind of a thing. As alleged in the audio tape, please comment. Yeah, I don't disagree with that statement, even with all the letters. But the fact that he wasn't, had I known, right, would took the money anyway. Exactly. So I don't know if he took the money. I don't know if that actually legit. Maybe Sylvia was saying Philip, but that never happened. We don't know. So, hey, what's up, Ray J?
Hey, beautiful day.
So is it possible that Sylvia just said Philip, but Philip got nothing and that conversation never actually happened? And that's why that question didn't come up. I don't know. This mess needs March Madness type brackets. It does. Right? It really does. There was another thing that was stated in that article. Now they can make a film about the drama mama, Sylvia, and her peons. Yeah, it could. To be quite fair, I've mentioned it to Erasmo Castro. I'm willing to help him write the screenplay about this crap, like for real. Like I'm willing to do that. I'm actually willing to invest in a movie. A legit movie, not like these crap things. I've been watching all your replays. They even got a top fan page. Really? Nice. I haven't been commenting, Story. I didn't even know you were around. I thought you left us. And we've all known about corruption in Rapid Valley, but still, this is shocking. Mendez doesn't look good. Look, I'm not going to defend Trey. He can defend himself, but I will say that I've known Trey for years. I mean, years. Straight up guy. He was a journalist with the Collegian, which was a newspaper. It's just the newspaper for UTBTSC when it was a partnership. He is a lawyer. He's my lawyer. He is my friend. I have supported him when he ran for mayor every time. I feel like I'm a close confidant of him. I've never thought of him as corrupt in any way, shape, or form. I do not believe he's done anything wrong, but I still think he needs to say something, and I will tell him that next time I talk to him, because this is a lot of names are going to be thrown out there that not necessarily did anything wrong. Like, for example, this Philip Cowan thing. I did not vote for Philip Cowan. I have endorsed Jessica Gonzalez. I proudly gave her money and donated to her campaign because I believe in her. I urge everybody to vote for her because I think she would be the best BISD candidate and best BISD trustee in that place. That's my opinion. Nothing against Miss Miller, nothing against Vito, who I consider friends, and nothing really against Philip. I just think Philip needs to go. I think he's the fact that you'll do do it totally. The problem, but that's not a deal yet because I'm not making an official deal, but we'll test you out, Richard. The problem that I see with Philip is he rambles on more than I do, which is bad. And so apparently got admonished yesterday. The other thing that came out in that KRGV News article is about State District Judge Elia Cornejo Lopez. And today, the FBI undercover agent apparently said that Sylvia Atkinson offered earlier this year on August 22nd of 2020 to wear a wire in order to help investigate her friend, the State District Judge Elia Cornejo Lopez. And I think that's hilarious. And the FBI said, no thanks.
Is a rat to you.
Yeah. And so what is going on with this? And now, Lynn, I'm with you, Roman. I would invest in that. I would totally do that. I really would. And I'm willing to do it. I've talked to Erasmo potentially about doing it. And I'd love to write that screenplay because there's so much there. Trust me, there is. And so Laura Perez Reyes is running for district clerk of Cameron County. The fact that she apparently went, based on this news report from KRGV, went and tried, or maybe it was the Herald, I don't know, or maybe I'm conflating that with a blog story, I don't know anymore. But apparently, it seems that Laura went to Judge Elia Cornejo Lopez, and Judge Elia is a power player in politics here, went to her to try to get her endorsement and support for her race for district clerk. But allegedly, Elia Cornejo Lopez, the judge of the 404, and somebody might be able to correct me, but I believe the 404 is the same district court that had Abel Limas, who is sitting in federal prison right now. Don't know. I agree. I like Trey, but he sometimes comes off as snippy when people ask him questions on Facebook, and his silence about this isn't good. He's a lawyer, and he probably knows to keep his mouth shut if something is potentially there. Don't know. I don't believe he's done anything wrong.
And you're right about Abel Lima, who was the 404.
Yeah, before, okay. So Elia says, well, allegedly, I've been waiting for a statement from Philip as well. Voters need to know if his vote is for sale. Yeah, I hope he does give a statement. He needs to give a statement. He should give a statement. If he doesn't want to give a statement, then he's a joke, and he should, not be voted in, Jessica. I agree with you. But Judge Elia apparently said, well, if you vote in a certain way by getting rid of this particular lawsuit and vote on my side, I'll support you. And did Laura just walk away? Did Laura do anything about it? We don't know.
Yeah.
I guess she wasn't the target. Laura wasn't the target of an investigation by the FBI, which is why she testified. I don't know. It just seems a little strange. These people had enough time to fabricate involvements to destroy certain people. These people will stop at nothing. They have the money to do it. Interesting. But I did, today the FBI, undercover FBI agent stated in federal court that he was eating at a restaurant, a very popular restaurant, a very rich restaurant called Maderas, and with Rodrigo Moreno and Sylvia. and he apparently was supposedly an Indian American, a foreigner from India who was wanting to invest millions of dollars in this deal, and that at one point while Rodrigo was stuffing his face, Sylvia leaned over to the undercover FBI agent and told him, I guess, you know, if you ever need to talk to anybody about this deal, you talk to me, and you don't need to talk to Rodrigo, you talk to me. And that she apparently, according to the audio tape she was wanted 1% cut of everything, and to essentially leave out Rodrigo. So like right next to the guy, she's already willing to throw him under the bus. That was utterly amazing. And hopefully that'll come out in some news reports. I just don't, at this point, don't trust the media locally to be able to tell us everything that happens. I'm hoping that when Manny is able to go tomorrow, at least for one day, to give us a good report for Friday's show, it'd be great. I do recommend listening to Tim Ramirez and Carlos Elizondo give their insights as to what they saw in the courtroom, and hopefully they'll be as clear and concise as they possibly can and answer people's questions, because this is important. Whether you live in Brownsville or not, this is corruption that is happening. And she threw out names of people all the time, saying that I'm the person you talk to. You know, threw out names of Senator Corden, apparently threw out Senator Cruz's name, threw out all kinds of people's names of people that are in her network that she can contact and do anything she can for this person. Man, I can't wait for the Biden trials. Neither can I, if those ever happen. Right?
That's going to be interesting for sure.
That would be fun. But there are some really big, interesting things that happened today in this case. And hopefully we get more coverage. Did the Brownsville Herald write anything already?
Nope,
Maybe they just haven't written it yet. So it is what it is. But guys, I think 8:56. Did the fork fall off the table, and did she go after it under the table? I don't know. That's a good question. But I just think it's so sad. They're right next to each other. Like, just ignore Rodrigo, and I can only imagine Rodrigo.
Right.
He's eating. Friends of his, and I used to be a friend, called him Orca. Orca. Think about it. A whale. Orca.
So yeah, we're not doing our late show tonight. I'm going to try to crash early. I wasn't feeling really good. Feeling very well today and this morning. So I'm gonna get a good sleep so I can be there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, front and center.
Yeah, and be there early so you don't be, you get a seat, because it was a packed house.
It's right here.
Packed courthouse for this thing. People want to go. No honor among. No, absolutely not. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the show. The information I told you about the trial is all secondhand. I wasn't there. If I made any mistakes, I'm willing to be corrected on what I've stated. This is just my opinion. I think it's okay to make opinions, but I'm trying to do like a little clarification there. But if you're watching, Philip, just like Jessica said, can you please tell the people whether or not you accepted a bribe? If your vote is for sale, please tell us. Not that I would believe you either way, but at least make a statement. Oh, there was another thing. When Rodrigo, those of you did not maybe not know that, when Rodrigo is running Philip Cowan's campaign, by the way, for re-election. Just so you know, spent tens of thousands of dollars. Philip has paid Rodrigo to run his campaign, or Pink 8 Media that he owns or runs. And when Rodrigo was getting off, he asked the judge, "Hey, judge, because he talks like this. Hey, guy, judge. Hey, guy. Can I am I allowed to I don't know, help and talk to my client who's a witness in this trial?" The judge's like, "Well, we don't know. We'll think about it, because I want to talk to him." And so they ultimately said, as long as you can help him and talk to him, you just can't talk about the case. Interesting. Ladies' night tomorrow night? I don't know.
Not sure yet. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah, it really will. We're gonna play that one by ear, but I think we will do a late night show Friday night, though. Maybe. I want to watch Queen's Gambit tomorrow. With my
I started
daughter.
watching that today. I'm hooked.
Really? I want to watch that. And I want to watch the new episode of Mandalorian that comes out tonight at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific on Disney Plus.
Thanks for stopping by, Marsha.
So I want to watch the new episode of the new season of Mandalorian. Good night.
So 2 a.m. for
Better take good
Mandalorian.
notes. You know.
2 a.m. for Mandalorian, huh?
But I can't watch it because I have to wait for my daughter for tomorrow to watch it.
Available for $2,000.
All right. I want that T-shirt. That's the exciting. He probably does. Okay, guys. So if you all can search after you leave us, search for Erasmo Castro's personal page or his like page, which is Erasmo Castro for BISD or Erasmo Castro candidate. One of those will get you that live stream. And he comes out at exactly 9 o'clock. All right, guys. So God bless you all. Enjoy and see you all tomorrow. Okay. Take care.
Good night, everybody.